the Tier 1 CRL. We're a little bit late tonight due to an unfortunate lack of a commentary team. But the boys are here. The dream team is here. I am here with Mr. Hedgehog 11 for the French Grand Prix. Hedge, how are you doing tonight, my friends? What a day in the making this has been.
I made it, mate. I made it in life. From Tier 4 to Tier 1. Who said I couldn't compete in Tier 1? Who said I couldn't do it? They were lying. I'm here.
It was probably Jeroen if it was going to be anybody.
Yeah, probably. He's not wrong. But I'm here for commentary. Maybe not on track. That'll never happen. But I'm here for the dream duo. Finally. It's finally happened.
It's finally. It's been a long time coming. Like, far too long coming.
On the big stage as well. Big stage.
Exactly. The big old bad boy stage. So we are here for round. You might know better. What round is it?
This is round number 10.
Round number 10. There we go. This is why he's here, folks. He's a man of...
I have just done Tier 2, you know. I've said it about 5 times. Round 10, round 10.
And Farrell's joined us as an engineer, I'm assuming.
All Tier 2 boys are here. All Tier 2 boys are here. Well, I'm not sure if he's racing because Nathan did just put in the Tier 2 chat that can anyone race. So I don't know whether he's...
He probably is because he picked up damage in the Tier 2 at the end there. Had good pace as well, so probably not an unwelcome addition to the grid.
Possibly, and there's a space left, isn't there? I think he is, yeah, he's just gone into a seat, so there you go, we've got a full grid.
Lovely to see, lovely to see. I suppose we better do some commentary, yeah?
That's what we're here for, mate, isn't it?
Well, I'm on board with your current P3, Mr. Pyro, aka Tony. He's about to start a lap around, what's it, the La Castellas, something French, for the French Grand Prix, of course. The second track in recent memory to host the French Grand Prix, the first being Magny-Cours, a legend of the track. Please bring it back instead of this white, blue and red lined monstrosity. Seb has retired. I don't know if that's in the pits, but we're going to get a little on board here with Pyro.
Lane retirement. Not too sure why. But, he's no time left, there's only a minute left, isn't it? Because we joined late, mate, I forget there's only a minute left.
I'm thinking we're back in at the start. Let's have 1 minute 30 left, so this is going to be the final few laps in. Currently at the top then, your championship leader by, I think he's already won the title, is Relentless Bouter, is at Kush, 2 tenths behind, and then just a tenth and a half behind him is Pyro, Jeroen, Ferg, IFRA Liam, the man who wanted to be in Tier 2 because he wasn't quick enough, currently in P6. How's Mark in P8 as well?
There you go. That's what Cone does, mate. Surprises us all the time. I'm on board with our good friend Josh, who's currently not set a lap in the Marines. He's one of 5 not to have set a lap just yet, but not his last lap here, as is pretty much the whole grid. So it could be a little bit of chaos here, and it could be difficult for us to keep up with this, Scott, because it's going to be a bit of a shootout to end this session. But I'll keep an eye on Josh, because obviously he's not set a lap yet. He'll be open to push into that top 10 if possible, but it's easier said than done getting to a top 10 in Tier 1, isn't it? So we'll see what happens.
It's hard enough getting invited to the grid, let alone getting in the top 10. Pyro up to the line then. Does he improve? Ever so slightly, but not enough to dethrone Isaac Kush from P2. He has just started his final lap. We'll keep an eye on that. Wouter about to start his as well. We'll jump on board then with our Season 4 champion. No, we won't. That is Ferg. He has invalidated and is coming through the Do-Well. Chicken Do-Well, sadly not racing here tonight. What about a new boy to the grid then, Hedge? IRT Mick. He's currently P11, is apparently slightly up in his time. Needs at least a tenth to gain 2 positions to jump the likes of Seb and potentially Nathan JB, as Mark is the first of our cars to finish the session. He's currently P8 at best. Yeah, how's Joshy getting on?
We'll keep an eye on Mick, but just a quick mention to Boompier, who invalidated in Sector 1 and off the track, so his qualifying's over. He cannot improve it. He's got an invalidated lap, so it's P16 at best. For Boompier. We'll keep him up with Mick then, sorry. He's just crossed, he's not crossed the line at all. He's going on the last corner. He's about to cross the line. Currently started 11th for 130.5. He's going to improve it by 2 tenths and jump Nathan for now. Put himself into P9. There's a Ferrari next, I think, Scott, which I think is AJ. It is AJ.
AJ Wuhan up to the line in the DRS of that Ferrari, wide open. It is a 1:29.886 provisional P2 for him. Ferrari 1-2 on the cards. No, it's not. Isaac Kush, the young man from the Far East, denies that from the Ferrari Tifosi.
Scott,
Hedge,
is that a 1-2?
No, is that a 1-2? No, it is sadly not. He has cushed them dreams.
That's shocking, out. And I think, mate, that's pretty much it, because a lot of these, I think that's it. I think we're done. Because Nathan's not going to... Nathan's in the pits.
Jeroen can't improve.
T-Griff's in the pits as well, so that's it, we're done. Oh, Jeroen, he's in the
He's
pits,
in the pits.
So, done.
So, surprise, surprise, folks, it's a Valter pole position.
Who'd have thought it? Who'd have thought it, eh?
Never would have seen that coming. A Ferrari 1-3 though, AJ Wu and taking P3 separated by the little Singaporean of Izzat Kush in the middle there. He won't mind me saying that, Izzat's a good lad. Tony Pyro in P4 ahead of Jeroen and Ferg, the former rail next to the current rail driver in that third grid. FRA, Mr. I'm not quick enough for tier 1 in P7 ahead of Relentless Mark in P8. You would have got a lot of money in the bookies at that one.
Valter, of course, getting pole, hoping to extend his 129-point lead at the top of the championship tonight. So, if he has an off race, I'm sure he can afford that. But looking at his time tonight, I don't think he's in the mood for an off night. I think he's wanting to extend that lead even further. Other than that, though, Scott, I mean, the gaps so I'm looking at the standings now. Obviously, we know that P1 it's not mathematically done and dusted. I don't think yet, but it's very close to being. Unless it already is, maybe. I'm not too sure. But other than that, though, it's still sort of wide open. I mean, Nathan's having a good season in second. They're the only two drivers, by the way, Valter and Nathan, that have scored triple digits so far. Mr. Ariel Evans, or Josh, as we like to call him, he's on 93 points, but qualified down in 14th tonight, Scott. So not his best work in terms of qualifying pace.
Definitely not the potential that we've seen him have over the course of this season. He'll be looking to gain some positions. Not a bad place to start though, 13th and 14th. Not that I'm saying that for any particular reason. Go check tier 2 after this. But yeah, it generally is a solid grid here in tier 1. There isn't much in the way of gaps, and you can even see that in the qualifying. The top 15 there, separated by I think just about a second.
I've just put a comment in the tier 1 paddock for the first time in my life.
You finally made it.
I've got tier 1 tagged, mate, so I can't make it. You know what I mean? From tier 4 to tier 1. There we go. It's done. Completed it, mate.
It's a climb. That's done. And, you did that when you won in one championship, which is more than
that's all you need, mate. That's all you need.
But you won
the racing tier 2. Jump straight up.
Just jumped out, mate.
Gifted, mate. I don't think we're due any rain tonight. What I would say is that windows need cleaning above the pit lane, don't they?
Oh, they are absolutely rotten.
Paul Ricard playing that, mate. Get the windows cleaned, son. All that money he's got, he can't even get a bit of bloody spray out window. I say I'm peed off, so if I paid all that money, be a bit peed off there.
I would be sure. If this was,
it's the little things, mate. It's the little things, mate. I always notice stuff like that above the pit lane. I'm one of them, mate. I'm a perfectionist.
Well, just imagine you've spent like €600 to get a nice seat above the pit lane, and you go and it's just a grubby window with handprints and slaver marks over it. Terrible. Shocking. Somebody's readied up early, so we're about to get the formation lap underway pretty quickly.
Poor that. That's poor.
Somebody's in the bad books.
We'll get to the bottom of it. I mean, we'll never know who that was, but
sadly not. You're saying there about the lack of rain. Judging by the lap times, I don't think we're due any. I would imagine all these guys are running just pure racing setups. And speaking of the racing, only 3 on the mediums is that Kush in P2 alongside Boompier and Resify P17 P18. The rest of them going for the hards, looking to stretch it out the hards to about lap 16 to 17. The mediums going anywhere from lap 9 to lap 11, just depends how you wear them, but they are partial to warming out as well. Probably the easiest rundown of tyres we've had.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, you're not going to see softs, are you? You're not going to see any softs at the start of this race. I know in tier 2 it was the same. I think in tier 2 there was, I want to say, 5 on the mediums, the rest on the hard, so it's a pretty similar sort of outcome in tier 1 as well. I do rate the lads that have gone for mediums, though. Why not? We saw Liam start on the mediums in tier 2 just then, and at the start of the race he did a very good job of sort of, preserving them and kicking on and challenging towards the front. I mean, I rate it, and it'll be interesting to see how the boys at the back do, Boom PA and Reservoir. But I suppose at the back you've got nothing to lose, have you? Why not go on the mediums?
You might as well gamble. It's a tricky track. There's a lot of tricky curbs, there's a lot of tricky traction zones. Safety cars are definitely not off the table, and if you get one early enough, you get a free pit stop off the mediums onto the hards that will go to the end. So,
yeah,
nothing to lose. Roll the dice and gamble it. Is that probably going for the opposite of Valter, just to spice things up and again run that alternative strategy? We know he's got good pace, so regardless what happens, he should be up there and abound. But time will tell. 27 laps time, we will know.
just looking at go back on the good as well, seeing big balls in racing tonight. And I've commentated him a lot this season in Tier 2 as a reserve and winning a lot of races in Tier 2. He actually won last week in Tier 2 as a reserve as well. So interview him as a Tier 2 reserve this time last week. Could we be interviewing him tonight, 20th to 1st? I mean, would you imagine that? Yeah, you never know though, mate, in Cone, never know. But good to see him. I mean, he's the sort of driver that deserves to be in Tier 1 with the pace he's shown. But I think when you're turning up as a reserve in Tier 2 and winning the majority of races that you're in, I think it goes to show that you should be in Tier 1, so very well done to him. I'm interested to see how, I think this could be his Tier 1 debut tonight, so I'll be intrigued to see how he gets on, especially from last back of the grid as well.
Definitely one to look out for. Another sort of Tier 2 prodigy from the start of this season as well, Leo, just disqualifying himself. He's in P12, showing that he's quick enough to mix it up with the big boys. Codemasters deciding to cancel everything off. I can't even see the lights.
We're underway.
Apparently we're underway. 0 red lights and away we go. Jeroen getting a good start on Tony. Already up into P3 is Jeroen. Izat and Wouter holding positions out front. The mid-pack seem to get away decently. All right, nothing too carnage filled at the beginning of this Grand Prix, and everybody seems to have settled in very, very nicely.
Yeah, I was watching the midfielders on board with Nathan, who's jumped a couple of places. At the start is a spin actually, and it is Nathan. Commentator's curve's a big impact, and I can make there's a lot of damage on track there. A lot of debris. I reckon there's a good 3 or 4 cars, possibly even more, that have picked up some form of damage. Nathan was up 2 as well, had a good start, and then seemed to have been caught up in an incident, and he was facing the wrong way. But I'd say, at the very least, someone else gone as well. There's an Alpine gone. It's Farrell's gone. So I'd say a good quarter of the grid, mate, must have damage there. We'll tell when we get to the pit lane in a moment, but it looked like a good few have got damage there.
Bit of a strange start, absolutely cooking us a whistle through 1 and 2, then 3, 4 and 5 being the sort of the killer for them. A few cars running wide. We're on board with AJ Wuhan, who's defending against FRA Liam, but also attacking Relentless Mark. A bit of a squabble going on between these three three very good drivers, and I think that's a car with a half spin there. There was yellow flags for a moment. Still on board then with this battle for P5.
Yeah, one of the cars with damage is Mick in the Haas. He's got no wing. He's also Tigriff has got no wing as well. So 2 drivers have got completely no wing on the car. So we're very lucky there not to have a DNF. That's crazy. 2 drivers at least with literally no wing left on their car. I mentioned to keep an eye on big balls, and although there's been, incidents at the start, he's up 7 already, 8 already. So he's fitting in very nicely to Tier 1, mate. Up 8th place after 1 lap, albeit 4 or 5 in the pits, but he kept his nose clean, and he's gained 8 places after 1 lap, which is the most on the grid bar Boompia.
I thought you were going to say you've always been interested in watching big balls, but I will not go there. But yeah, Boompy up into P9 already, having a terrific start on those mediums. The front is at getting the move done, and Wouter, I'm not quite sure when that happened. Jeroen up from P5 into P3, chasing down Wouter for P2. AJ and Mark side by side into the do well chicken, and AJ gets the move done.
AJ, I don't think you may have mentioned it or not, but I was very focused on the lads towards the back. So AJ did lose a couple, didn't he, at the start?
Yeah,
so
poor start getting.
Just game on back, hasn't he? So he's down 2 now.
He got bogged down off the start. He lost out to Jeroen and Pyro, and then eventually Mark just through that sort of first sector squaffles, and trying to rein back in, get that pace that he had and shown in qualifying back down on the ground and pushing it back up through the field. Tyres in at the back though, Hedge.
Well, I was going to mention the tyres, but I was also going to mention, I said it in Tier 2 and I kind of cursed myself in the end, but it's not a circuit known for safety cars, is it? Because of such a big runoff area, normally when a car spins, you saw it before, didn't you, at the start of the race when 2 or 3 cars lost it. In other circuits, you'd have been in the wall there, wouldn't you, and out the race, but in France it's quite generous in terms of 99% of this circuit, when you lose the car, there's such a big runoff area, so it doesn't tend to be a huge amount of DNFs. I probably commentator's curse that now. I did end up doing that in Tier 2 as well, but it's not a track known for a huge amount of DNFs, is it?
It can throw them up, just particularly with the curbs and some of the traction zones. On board with Mark here, you've got this traction zone, the long right-hander. Get the throttle down wrong, you're either going off into the right, you could go off into the left here on that curb on the inside. So it's a lot of, it has potential, say, for safety cars in maybe a low skill grid, but a grid with this sort of potential, it's less and less likely.
Definitely.
I'm going to just take this moment to thank you for cursing us for that safety car, because that came out, there was 7 laps to go, and I had minus .8 fuel, so thank you for that.
Oh, speaking of spins, as if he's gone. And he's not in the wall, he's managed to save it. And as mentioned, it's the runoff area, mate. Without in another circuit there, he's in a wall. And a big runoff area has saved him. He's lost a good chunk of positions there. But no damage on the car of Rizzitti. He was one of the medium runners. He was one of 3 medium runners at the start, wasn't he? With Bouclier and is that as well. Has lost a fair few positions due to that spin, but thankfully for him, not got any sort of damage. Josh getting a penalty, the first of the evening. He's already, he pitted, didn't he, at the start? So a tough night for Josh so far. On the softs as well at the moment.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of almost frustration creeping in there, getting caught up at the start, you're having to pit, you're on the softs to try and push up and make up positions, and sometimes it's pushing that a little bit too hard that the errors start to creep in, you run a little bit wide, you take too much of an entry, and it all goes Pete Tong. I love the pronunciation there of Recife, big Recife.
What did I call him?
You called him Recife.
Mate, my head's gone. My head's gone. Well, I'll keep calling it him.
Yeah,
Unique.
We'll just call him Recife from now on.
I've always called him that. I'm watching a very interesting battle for P19 here, involving Mick and of P18, if you like, involving Mick and Ken. I mean, despite being a mile behind, these two are having a great battle, and I can't take my eyes off it at the moment. I'm loving it. They're not in the mix for points at the moment. They've had a tough start to the race, but they're giving it their all. And yeah, I think it's a really, really interesting battle, despite being way out of the mix at the moment. Oh, and I've just jinxed it again because Mick's lost it. No damage again, but I will stop commentating in a minute. Every time I commentate on someone, they spin.
The worst thing is, I peeked back just to have a little look. I was watching Valor, and then as soon as I clicked off it, to go back to P3, you just screamed. So I've absolutely just missed that by the finest of margins.
Banana on track, mate. You know the Mario. I'm not going to sing it. Not in tier 1. I'm professional in
not
tier 1,
this
aren't
week.
we? But no, I'm professional in tier 1, aren't we?
Oh yeah.
Until later on when there's chaos. Maybe later. But every time I commentate over someone, they seem to lose it. It's chaos, mate. March under a little bit of pressure here from Liam. What I would say is Sector 1's not an easy place for overtakes, is it? You tend to wait until the straight in Sector 2. Again, but these guys are, a lot more experienced than I am, so obviously they'll have a bit more knowledge as to when to overtake and when not to overtake. But yeah, am I right in saying that, Scott? Sector 1 not necessarily an easy place for a move?
Yeah, you're sort of almost relying on the person in front of you making a mistake to get a move done. It's more all about keeping it together, keeping it clean yourself, and trying to set up the best exit onto that long Mistral straight with the first DRS down just in Sector 2. So you've hit the nail on the head there, mate. I think you're ready to be racing in Tier 1, I would say.
Well, got the mental side, mate. Maybe not the actual driving side, but the mental side's there.
We could get you in as an apprentice.
Well, yeah, like a reserve. Get me in as a reserve one week. See how we get on. Why not? I'm commentated now, mate. I've hit the big stage now, and I've been here now, and you know what I mean. I've experienced it. There's start of things to come now.
CRL Tier 1 next is the moon.
In terms of the battle for P2, Valter and Jeroen are very close together here, and I thought for a minute then on lap 4, lap 5 even, it looked like Jeroen made a move on Valter down the straight, but he just ran out of time. But I think on this occasion, if he can stay with him through Sector 1, he'll have a better opportunity on this lap. But in terms of on-track battles at the moment, this looks the most appealing one. Isak's done a good job on the mediums. He's not necessarily pulled away from the two of them, but I suppose he's done as best as he could have, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's done well. He's got to the 2 second. Marcus Valter and
They both did it! They both did it! Did you get that as well?
I got that as well. That's a little bit of a ripple effect, but you're in getting a better exit now. Down out of turn 7, down the Mistral straight, side by side, of course. DRS assistance, a little bit of ERS gets them moved on. Well in advance. We've seen a little bit of a tough time for you in the recent weeks. The rebirth of the branded Midfield Uranus, we saw him grind those curbs harder than Tony Hawk earlier on there as well. I'd like to point out Mark making a little mistake there on that lap, losing out 2 positions to Leo and Liam. Doing well though to keep it in a straight line, losing it round in the final corner.
There he is.
Recipe has a 3-second time penalty. It doesn't rhyme. I was trying to force it too hard there, wasn't I?
Yeah, mate, go roll for tongue, mate. Don't force it. Just let it happen. You know what I mean?
See, I'm a professional, just information style commentator, and I'm trying to keep up with your level of banter, and I'm struggling.
I feel like I'm in tier 1. I should be a bit more professional, but I just can't help it, mate. Just can't help it. I see someone swear, I just start screaming. That's the way I am. That way inclined, mate. But the Battle for P2 could take another twist at the moment. As Fouter looks to come back at Hero, and it was quite funny then. Like you said, it was like one of them lost it and the other one lost it. They're both very lucky in the end to not completely lose a car, but I suppose it's experience, that isn't it? They know how to save it, don't they? If that were me, I'd be gone. I'd be in a wall.
That's
why they're tier 1 and I'm not.
Especially building up the experience and just having those little quick reactions, a little flick of the throttle, a flick of the steering, just to counteract the car spinning. You ruin just about keeping it within the white lines there. But it also shows you just how close this grid is. These drivers are used to driving nose to tail and just reacting to the car in front and almost following them. And speaking of following, Wouter's had enough of doing that. He goes for a move down the inside into the Mistral chicane, or the do-well chicken, as we like to call it here in CRL. He gets a move done once again. These two tit for tat, losing out a little bit of time to Iz out in front, however, doing that. Jacob on the back of Tony Pyro, going into the long right-hander, but it's not really a place you can go for an overtake unless you've got gentleman area as big as Jacob. What a move down the inside by him.
Unless you got big balls, the man in P12. Fouter and Euro are basically playing a game of leapfrog here, lap by lap, just jumping one another in the same sort of area. Speaking of big balls, again, very impressive him so far. I know that a few lads pitted earlier on, but he's in the points slot in a tier 1 race. He's not looking out of place at all, and he's closing on the RBL night here as well. So he's not out of the question for a top 10 here at the moment. Again, a long way to go in this race, but so far, for his first of a tier 1 race, he's looking part of the furniture, mate.
Absolutely. He's an experienced driver. He's been around in CRL for a number of seasons, sort of on and off, and I have got to say, I don't know if it's the new game, if it's maybe just a new bit of extra practice, or just something's clicked to him. He's looking incredibly rapid compared to the big balls that I know and love. You can clip that if you want, please.
Yeah, what else can you say? It's his name, isn't it? It's his name. You know, what else can we say?
Exactly. If you take it out of context, then you're just being immature.
You are indeed. You are indeed. Fouter to stay ahead of Euro on this occasion. That seems to be keeping a similar gap of about 2 seconds. This was a similar situation to Marty in the last race in tier 2. He constantly kept a gap of around 2 seconds, and I think Marty may have done the mediums as well. I may have got that wrong. He may not have done the mediums, but I think he was at the start of the race. What are you thinking so far in terms of I mean, he's around about 2 seconds clear, but on the mediums. So is he the race favourite here, or would you look at Wouter still or your own?
He is pushing quite hard. He's on less than 10% of ERS at the moment, so he is using those tyres. He's pushing with those tyres, and they're slowly going to start to go off the cliff. But we're going to expect him within the next 3 laps. The only issue for him is going to be traffic. Yes, he's going to have a massive undercut of maybe about 9 laps. That's going to wear off at the end of the race if we don't have a safety car. But you can only operate an undercut if you've got clean air to do so. Speaking of clean air, Tony is going for it down into turn 1. He returns into P4, getting the move done on AJ Wuhan. We've got FRA, Liam, Leo and Mark all hanging about in the background there. But yeah, that is crucial. It's crucial where he comes out in this pack. Just will switch across to the leader. I'm not quite sure the average pit time, but he's probably going to come out around about Nathan, Resify, maybe T-Griff, depending on how quick his pit stop is. And it's not really a great gunge of fresh air. Yes, you're going to be quicker. You're going to have the ERS recovered, but it's still going to be tricky. Too early to call H.
It's the second longest pit stop, pit lane in F1, I believe, after Britain as well. So it's certainly not a pit lane where you're going to get any time, that's for sure. Big Ball's looking for another move here on Ariel Knight, and he flies past him. Ariel going to try and come back at him, not going to be able to make that move. And Big Ball's up into P11. Next up the road is his teammate Seeb. So once again, it was a ballsy move from Big Ball Scott, but he made it stick, and he's up into P11, well in the points at the moment, as Farrell, the tier 2 driver, tier 1 reserve tonight, picks up a penalty.
Yeah, very ballsy move by Big Balls there, but Relentless Knight will be looking to get by him and just say good night to the chance of this battle. I don't have anything else, but mark my words, Mark is still in this battle for P4. 6 cars, I believe, can I do maths? No, 5 cars currently in this train here. Although saying Mark does look to be a little bit on his own. I would dare say that gap's a little bit bigger than 8 tenths. Could be wrong though.
A little bit of a wobble there for Pyro. He's got a bit of traffic behind him now, Pyro. Bit of a train. AJ, Liam, and Leon, and even Mark as well, if you like, in this little fight. So this is the only downside for Pyro. Of course, he's in a good position in P4, but of course no DRS here, and the lads behind him will all get DRS. I still think he'll hold on to P4 for now. Yellow flag on track. That could be Mark. It is Mark. He was in the wall, and well, that's not good. Scott is going to lose his fair share of positions there. I don't think he picked up damage. I'll try and get a camera angle where I can see the front of his car. Doesn't look like a damage shot, but he's lost a good chunk of positions there now.
Did you see the barrier? Has he made any marks in it?
Hey, you're flying now, mate. You're in the zone now. I like it. You put me to shame, man. I need to think of myself. But Mark has dropped from, I think, P8, was it? Yeah, I think it was P8. Going to try and get one move back here, though. Ariel versus Ariel. And does get back ahead of Knight, but goes miles off the track. Knocking the... What's he doing there? Knocking up boards off. Bloody hell. And he's going to lose that place again. You're not trying to this out, Mark, mate. I know you're tier 1, mate, but come on.
Getting his elbows out here. Not very big, but he is getting these elbows out here.
This will get tasty. These two are getting very close together. There's no mercy shown here from these boys. And Mark on the outside, nearly went into the pit lane. There! He the Mario Banana, and he spins the car. I think it was a shell that them little shells that he threw there, Mark. Took off. See you later, Mark. Down to 15th in the space of what? Whoa! He can't do that! He just drove across the track to get into the pits. That's an outrage! How are you team one, mate? Oh, his face retired. Fair enough. Right, let's move on.
It completely stole your thunder there. While that was going on, Isaac Kush has jumped into the pits from the lead. He is on a set of hards now to the end. Rizifi doing the same.
And as well, opposite, it's called opposite. In the space of a lot, both McLarens have lost the car. My head's gone, mate. My head's complete. It's that tier 2 commentary. It's matched my head.
To be fair, you have been commentating for 2 hours solid now, so I think it is excusable to let you off with it.
I don't know where opposite come from. That was a bit random. But in the space of one lap, both McLarens have lost the car in the same area. One of them's out the race. One of them has just lost a couple of places and is now hanging on for the final points place. Nathan, though, will be hoping to take that final points place from Boom P8. 10 lap old mediums versus 10 lap old hards.
Yeah, Favour should be in the hards at this point.
Is that on the fresh set of hards has already pitted, hasn't he?
Yeah, Isaac should be checking out of there pretty soon, given his pace and his tyre advantage. Opportunity for Boompi and Nathan, though, to sort of hook in on the rear of him. Maybe let the cars in front, peel into the pits, go for the overcut, use that DRS and that drag, although the DRS is well and truly gone. Nathan does overtake Boompi because Boompi is into the pits. He is the last of the starting medium runners to jump into the pits now. Pretty much everybody in the hards, apart from Mick, who of course pitted, I think it was lap 3, lap 2.
Yeah, very early pit. Mick was involved in the lap 1 chaos, I believe, and was one of the few that, I think he's one of 4 that pitted at the end of lap 1. So as you mentioned, he's the only medium runner left. Boom PA just putting a fresh set of hards on. Coming out, I was going to say in clear air, but possibly not, because Farrell and Rizifi are possibly going to jump him here. They're not going to jump him, but they'll certainly be with close proximity as the race progresses. And Rizifi gets a penalty at turn 1 there. I don't know what that was about. I was on board with Farrell, so I missed that. Obviously a track limit penalty there for Rizifi. And T-Griff losing out to Isaac, but that's to be expected, to be fair. Isaac on them fresh hard should be able to, fly through the pack now towards the front again.
You expect him just to tear through that field. Mick having a little spin on the exit of turn 2. He's down at P16, of course, the one driver on this, the medium tyres. ERO Ken picking up another 3-second time penalty. They're all really starting to fly in here. And the battle still raging on at the front and raging on for P3, of course. DRS trains, as we call them, Hedge, a lot more common in this tier than it is tier 2, and of course T2, they're a lot more common than tier 3 and so on. An opportunity to sit in behind the car, save fuel, save ERS, because essentially you overtake the guy in front of you, he's just going to overtake you back. So these guys all sort of know that, and it's almost a big game of cat and mouse.
Well, we saw it before, didn't we, with Out in Euro, and how many times they swap positions for about 3 or 4 laps, just constantly changing, chopping and changing. Pyro's still got a train behind him, and doesn't seem to have shook off that train. It's a little bit smaller than it was before, due to Mark obviously crashing out of the race. But AJ, Liam and Leon still in fairly close proximity to Pyro. Don't get me wrong, they're not right on his back by any means, but you know, they keep in touching distance, and as mentioned before, Pyro's not going to get any DRS. The rest of them are. And he's got a penalty as well, so it's going to be a tricky race now for Pyro in terms of keeping ahead of them drivers. However, there's a long way to go, and no doubt more penalties will come during this race, that's for sure. Absolutely.
It can be a very tricky track at times with the track limits penalties. A good example of what we're speaking of there, though, Jacob going for another move down that inside, once again showing that there is more than just big balls in P8 here tonight. Pyro going to have to sit in behind, but you can see there, even between those two, AJ having that little bit more ERS because he's able to just sit in behind and save it behind with the DRS. He's just got that little bit extra in the tank to use as he needs, but of course Pyro's going to have DRS.
Well, a wobble from Liam, and that will allow Leon to get past, or maybe not allow Leon to get past. Liam looks like he saved it there. A wobble in the penultimate corner, sorry, in the final corner. Looked like he'd lost the car completely. He managed to somehow get it back on track. And I mean, I was pretty certain that Liam was going to fly past him there due to the mistake. But fair play to Liam. He corrected the mistake, saved the car, and kept ahead. And Leon gets a penalty. So it looked like Liam was going to get the place on Liam, didn't, and then results in a penalty himself. So in a matter of seconds there, Leon gone from potential P5, remains in P6, and then gets a penalty which could become costly. I mentioned to Scott that you know, Pyro may not be the only one with penalties coming out of this race towards the front, and there's one more for you. Liam gets one. Liam might have a look at Liam here though, with DRS, running out of room to make a move and nearly make contact with the Aston Martin. But for now, Liam remains ahead of the Williams.
So very close to contact there, almost flinched at the sight of it. A lot of these guys are running very low on ERS.
That's a big penalty.
Huge penalty.
And a yellow flag as well. Just behind that, I think. Was that involving AJ or Pyro?
I think that is Evans Joshua just letting the front runners past.
Ah, okay. Oh, Josh, what's happened there then? What's happened there? And Josh third in the championship as well, don't forget, Scott. That's quite big for the championship, that. Being down in 19th.
I think
not been his night tonight.
I think if I'm right, Jacob AJ Wuhan is pretty close behind him in the championship, so it could be a little bit of swapping and shifting here. Not classifications, drivers championship. Yeah, AJ not too far behind him, as it is at Kush, and Jeroen even not totally without touching distance realistically, so could be a big point. So first of the hard runners into the pits though, Hedge, 13 laps. Seems a little bit on the short side from me.
It is short. Big Balls and Leon. Sorry, Leon was already in the pits, wasn't he? Big Balls doing the same. So two of them deciding to do it. Again, they have experience, they know what they're doing, but I would agree, I think it is, you have to be a decent sit on the mediums to get them to the end. I'm not saying they can't get them to the end for sure, I'm sure it's possible, but I think it'd be a challenge. I've got to change the lead here as well, Scott, I think. We have.
Yeah, Jeroen going down the inside into the do-well, Chicken getting at the DRS down the Mistral straight, and that is Jeroen in the lead. He's also got a little bit more in the tank, ERS saving up, maybe waiting for that move. And he'll probably either try to push, break the DRS and try and get ahead in this pit stop stint. Of course, the man really we need to look on is at Kush. He's currently made his way up into P7, chasing down Seeb, and once he gets past Seeb, he's going to have breaths of fresh air that are almost pushing Jeroen around that corner there, just avoiding making any sort of contact, and Jeroen is into the pits.
It's like these two have been stuck together 15 laps. They've been so close together, as you'd expect, for the quality drivers that they are. But yeah, back to us. I was watching them, and other than Sieve, who's about a second and a half in front of him, he's got nice clear track here. Once, as you mentioned, once he can clear Sieve, he'll be laughing here. Is that? I think he's pitted at the right time in terms of getting out in clear air. He's in a couple of battles, hasn't he? Had to fight his way through a couple of people. I think Big Ball's one of the drivers that he had to make his way past. You can see here he's going to be comfortably ahead of your own now, albeit on different tyres. But yeah, he's at the moment. I'd say he's the favourite. With still a long way to go, of course, but yes, I'd say he's the favourite for now.
Yeah, definitely. About 3.94 seconds ahead of Jeroen. Of course, Jeroen and Leon and Liam, Nathan, Big Balls, all now on the mediums to the end. So definitely, it's doable. I would say maybe personally I would like to stretch the pit maybe this lap for the mediums, but these guys obviously know a lot more than me and you probably put together. So I'm not going to argue with it. Is that then closing in on the rear of Sieb, not quite close enough to make a move as of yet. He'll be hoping to either clear him very quick or just for that AlphaTauri to peel off into the pits at the end of this lap. There's nothing worse though when you're trying to clear somebody, you get past them and they immediately pit. That's a little bit heartbreaking. Jeroen will be hoping the same with Knight. That could be costly for him getting held up behind the Canadian in the Mercedes.
There was nearly an incident coming out of the pits, and Liam did come out of the pits and was very close to making contact with Leon, who was on track. And again, I'm sure these two, know what they're doing in terms of, keeping the distance and whatnot. But it could have been quite easily a collision there. Liam coming out of the pits on the first tyres, and Liam coming down the straight, obviously on his set of mediums already. So it was one of them that could have been a bit chaotic there, but thankfully nothing come of it. Is that back at the top now, should I say? Due to a lot of pit stops there, Scott, for about 5 drivers. It is 5 drivers.
Yep.
4 drivers.
Really big gaggle of cars coming in there, and we've seen it kind of first hand what you're on about. It's one of those pit exits that just flings you out onto the racing line.
Yeah, right into the mix, aren't you?
Interesting. Leon has jumped AJ Wuhan and Pyro going for that 2-lap undercut. Of course, he's going to have 2-lap older tyres because of that, but he's made the move sort of off track, shall you say, and now he's just got to defend. And because his tyres are up to heat, of course, coming out of the pits, AJ and Pyro's tyres are going to be that little bit colder. He can get the grip down, he can get the throttle down that little bit earlier as Jeroen goes past Valter into the Mistral chicane.
Nearly contact between the two AlphaTauri cars. They're having a fantastic little battle here. Sieve versus Big Balls. I think Big Balls will get the move done pretty easily now though. Sieve off track. Big Balls up into 9th. He's having a superb debut racing Tier 1. I will keep saying it a few times I think now, but I'm quite gobsmacked really. He's gone from Tier 2 to Tier 1 and he's had a very good race so far, and it was a good battle that between him and Sieve. Of course, Sieve is the full-time, I believe, Scott, correct me if I'm wrong. Big Balls are reserved, so they're not technically teammates, are they? Albeit for one night only. That was a nice battle between the two of them. That is a yellow flag as well. Looks like Mick's had a spin at turn 2.
Mick, like his namesake, is in the Haas and unfortunately isn't having the best of times. Big Balls though is effectively potentially net P8 here. T-Griff into the pits after 16 laps on the hards. He's going to be undercut by a good chunk of the cars, getting that extra pace on the fresh tyres compared to him, but that might come back to him in the end. 18 laps away here, or 17 laps away I should say, Hedge. 11 laps to go including this, and still no appearance of the safety car. Only one retirement, which is Mark retiring in the pits. Been a very clean race so far.
It has, but this time last race in Tier 2 it was the same scenario, mate. Then we had chaos towards the end, so things can change in a flash. Pyro nearly made contact at the back of Liam. It's not the first time that Liam's nearly been caught out, the poor guy tonight. He nearly got caught out at the pits a couple of laps ago, and he's nearly caught out then as well by Pyro into the last corner. Into the final corner before this lap. There may have been a little bit of contact between the two of them, but it wasn't enough to sort of cause any sort of any chaos. Just a bit of a tap from Pyro on the back of Liam. It's an interesting battle here though, Scott. Oh, yellow flag. Is that in the pits?
It is
in
the pits,
I think.
Yeah.
One of them we couldn't tell at first because of where his car was.
It's a very very easy corner to just spin out on the final traction zone and hit that inside pit wall. So you're never too sure until you can see the dot moving. Valter going down the inside of Jeroen into that final corner. He's going to have DRS already being ahead and maybe a chance to stretch a gap. He's 2.7 seconds behind. Is that these two really, as much as they want to fight each other for P2, if they want to go for this win, they've got to take advantage of these fresher mediums while they can, close down that gap, get within that DRS, and then they can play the ultimate game for final position. Bit more of a tactical victory over a strategic loss, or vice versa, can sometimes play out in these races. Good battles though, all across the field.
Yeah, definitely. Still a really nice battle here for P4. Leon, AJ, Liam and Pyro. And Pyro once again right on the back of Liam here, almost pushing him around the corner. And I wonder on this occasion, I mean, the DRS may save Liam. I think it is going to save Liam. But like for a moment, Pyro was going to get the move done on Liam there, but I think Liam getting the DRS from AJ in the car in the front has allowed Liam to keep hold of that P6. But yeah, it's a really intriguing battle for that P4 spot. I mean, none of these boys are sort of near the top three. And to be fair, none of them are near you look at the gap behind Scott from 7th to 8th, he's 15 seconds. So at the moment, it's literally a shootout between these four for that 4th place spot.
Yeah, the top 7 here properly checked out from this race. Kevin, I'm sorry for calling it the Mistral chicane every now and again. It just sort of creeps in. It is, of course, the do well chicken. We love to see you, and it's a shame. I love to see you on this track. Me and Kevin commentated round here once before. Racify having a move and boom pee. Very, very tighty whiteys.
It was close, very close. It's not the easiest corner to make a move into either. Once again, though, these four that are battling for P4, down the straight, as you were for now, Leon from AJ, from Liam, from Pyro, yellow flag towards the back, I think it is my good friend Razifi, who's got, and got a penalty for his troubles as well, so he's well out on the points now, and will have to do a very good job to get himself back into the points in his remaining lap. It's a race that's flown by Scott, and of course that's helped due to the fact there's been no safety car VSC. Oh, he's going to retire in the pits as well, so it's a 3rd DNF, Scott. And all 3 DNFs have been pit lane retirements tonight so far.
Yeah, no on-track retirements as of yet. Still 8 laps, including this, that could change that. But overall, the quality of the racecraft, from what we've seen, I know there'll be a few drivers that might say otherwise. There always is. Been relatively clean, however. Big Balls, one of the shining stars here tonight, currently in P9, but the battle raging on at the front is heating up, Hedge. The back, second and third, I suppose, the back two of this freeway battle have caught up to Izzat.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one, though, isn't it? Because obviously that's on the older hards, Valter and Euro on fresher mediums. And of course, Valter, you're on with a penalty as well. So all 3 of these lads in different scenarios. I think Pyro's just finally got past Liam. He has, after pushing. Oh, and Liam's going to come back at him though. And I'm not sure whether Pyro let him back, whether something happened for that move to go for originally. I'm not too sure, but it kind of looked like Pyro just sort of moved over there, Scott, and let Liam get the place back. So I'm not sure if something happened prior to that, for that to have sort of happened. Maybe I might be wrong, but it did look like Pyro sort of gifted that place back to Liam there.
Maybe just a little bit of a what we call a bump pass, maybe from Pyro, just giving him a little nudge, but desettles the car, gives the opportunity to pass, and Pyro doing the sportsman thing and letting him back through. We're on board with Valter, though. He's got a run on Izzat Kush for the lead of this race, gets the move done well before the do well chicken, and is up into P1. It'll be Jeroen's turn next. The medium's going to be a bit pacier than the hards at this stage, especially, although as the race drags on, the hards will start to come back a little bit, but it might be too little too late by then. Of course, Jeroen has that 3-second time penalty to contest with. We'll keep an eye. This is Jeroen. Almost pushes him round the corner, almost makes contact.
Fine margins, that's for sure. Penalty for Pyro, so another twist in this P4 battle. To be fair to these four, though, they've pulled away from the rest of the pack. They are acres ahead of the cars behind, and still giving each other a fantastic battle for this P4 spot. But I think Pyro probably shot himself in the foot there. He's the last of the running cars in terms of this mini battle, and now has 6 seconds of penalty, Scott, so you'd say he's at a big disadvantage now in comparison to the other 3.
Definitely. I suppose, yeah, the only advantage for that is the worst case as things stand at the moment. He is not going to lose anything with those 6 seconds. As DC would say when we play the old pro clubs, he's in buckets of space. Plenty of time around about him, but it's probably not going to stop him. 6-second penalties. He's still here to race, and it looks like that's what he's doing. He's really, really tight to the gearbox of that Aston Martin of FRA Liam at 73. And maybe going to line up a run down the Mistral straight. We've seen him try it before. We've seen him try it again maybe here. He gets a little bit wide on the midpoint as Jeroen goes for the move, and Izzat will jump back to that, gets it done well in advance of the chicane. Pyro then, again, getting done out by Liam Carrick having the DRS.
He does indeed. I was going to say, it looked like a Pyro again. Getting very close to Liam. These two are pretty much stuck together. AJ's very close to the back of Liam. Could he make a move here on Liam? Again, it's not the easiest place to make a move on a driver. Liam's going to nearly push AJ off track there. And for now, Leon stays ahead as a retirement, Scott. I don't know where that is. Oh, it's on track!
Oh, it's on track!
Car, baby! Let's go! I was going to say, Scott, just before that happened, 3 DNFs all in the pits. The downside for them 3, no vaccine centres at this track. There is in Miami, Scott, of course, but no vaccine centres here.
Of course, no vaccine centres like the Hard Rock Cafe in Miami. Big news at the front, though. Jeroen and Izzat into the pits for a suspected set of sauce. Bouter, I wonder if he was just past the line and couldn't get in. He's, of course, immediately came around the first sector. He's on the back of the safety car. We've seen it in Tier 2, how the mediums got attacked by the softs at the end. Pretty much everybody but Wouter's probably going to go in the softs here. And it's people like Jeroen and people like Pyro with penalties that are maybe going to struggle and suffer the most. But
I think every single driver makes in the pit here, bar Wouter, who's in trouble potentially. I mean, he's got 120 odd point lead at the top of the championship. He can afford to not win a race. But it's a mentality, isn't it? You want to keep winning races, don't you? So he could be possibly in trouble. I mean, it's going to spice it up for the rest of the grid. So as you can see, every other driver, and I'm assuming that Farrell will do the same. Well, he will not actually. He'll stay on track, Farrell. But the vast majority of the grid now on softs, and a lot of these boys haven't got penalties, so it's really going to spice it up. And we're going to see maybe 3 laps of racing.
If we're lucky, lap 23, it's definitely going to go 24. So if it might go the end of 24, but the grid's still fairly spread out. Of course, it's got to go at the end of 25 at the latest. So we're guaranteed at least 2 laps of racing, but at most it's going to be 3. Because by the time this grid reforms, it's
going to take a while, isn't it? Going to take a while for the grid to reform, but hopefully we're going to see a mini 3-lap sprint here for the finish. Like I say, where they're all on fresh softs, and you worry now, Scott, for the lads that have got penalties here, with there only being such a short time left.
Definitely. I'd just like to say, Kevin said fair driver of the day for spicing up the Grand Prix. I think this might be a good time to just run through the penalties, and there's some more big ones towards the back, I suppose, but Jeroen, Leon and Seb and Tigriff all on 3 seconds. Pyro, Boompe, Farrell, Ken and Evans Joshua all on 6. So those 5 drivers unlikely to get a good result out of this Grand Prix with the safety car. I don't know, was that a concerted effort by...
what's Pyro doing?
After Evans Joshua then. I see he was trying.
I rate it.
Trying to unlap himself.
There was nearly a bit of a collision at turn 1 there. Pyro did momentarily overtake Liam. I don't think it was intentional. I think one of them ones where the cars get bunched up and you don't expect it. You sort of think. But again, Pyro's getting very close to Liam here, and Liam I think just hit the back of. Did Liam just hit the back of Leon? I think he may have done. Possibly not, but it was very close if he didn't. And I just wonder here. Got to be careful, these lads, because the last thing you want to do is get damaged now. And the tier 1 drivers, they're not stupid, are they? But they're getting very. You got Pyro there. He's getting very close to Liam, and that's been the case for the full Grand Prix. These two have made minimal contact on more than one occasion. It continues to happen on the safety car as well. So this could be interesting.
Maybe some itchy trigger fingers or throttle foots here. getting it ready for this. I'm going to say 2-lap sprint. I think you look at Ken and Farrell just coming through the end of Sector 1, start of Sector 2. There's no way they're going to be caught up in time for this safety car to get pulled in. I think it's going to be a 2-lap sprint.
I'd tell you that's the favourite here, based on Wouter being on old mediums and your own with a penalty. I'd tell you that's probably the favourite. What I would say, Scott, is he's got wheels like pedals. Oh, I've done it wrong. Wheels like pedals. I've done it wrong.
Wheels like pedals. He's got wheels like pedals.
Oh my god, I bottled it. Do you want to have it planned in your head as well? I had it planned.
When I say really, I really mean really. You really, really messed that up.
Man, I had it planned. That was my moment, that. On a big stage in Tier 1, I've bottled it. It's a new one though, Scott, isn't it? It's unique. That's a new one, that.
It's a relatively new one for you. You're still getting up to date with the...
I literally had it in my head, perfect, and it just gone. It's gone. Bottled it. What I was trying to say... there's a pit stop here for Ken. But what I was trying to say, Scott, I'll try again. I was going to say, he's got I've bottled it again. It's gone. Mate, my mind's just blank. It's gone. Scott, you take it away.
So Ken and Farrell, they'll jump in the pits. They, of course, at the back caught up the lap. The safety car going one more lap, so they're getting a fresh pit stop effectively. 0 lap of softs versus 2 lap of softs. Yes, it's under safety car, but the softs degrade at such a high rate round here that little bit of difference, that little bit of wear could make all the difference. Wouter then, if he's wanting to bring home a win, he's going to have the drive as if he has got feet like pedals and hands like steering wheels. Nearly messed up, but I just about saved it. There's some shenanigans going on there as well, was there? Between Pyro and Liam for a second, overtaking each other once again. Their heads.
These two are not getting along, mate, at all. I think it's quite. I don't want to make a prediction because I don't like doing it. But it wouldn't surprise me if there's an incident between these two on the last couple of laps because they are very let's just say they're not friends on track tonight. I think that's probably a fair comment to make. We are going to have only 2 laps of racing, so no DRS. Will that suit Wouter? We know he can defend, Scott. So is he? Would you say he's the favourite, or is that the favourite here?
I think it is that. Of course, is that to get Wouter. He's got the clear Jeroen. Jeroen's got that penalty, so he's going to be pushing as much as he can. They are going to have a massive pace advantage over Wouter. It's anyone's game, and of course, being in first, you're going to have people attacking you. When your likes of Izzat and down, you've got cars in front, cars behind. It's sort of that. It's 2 laps to go, and then you might be in whatever position. You've not got much to lose, or you've got too much to lose. These guys with penalties haven't really got too much to lose, so they might go a little bit buck wild on this final lap. But safety car coming into the pit lane now. Wouter is the de facto safety car, will set the pace, and it's up to him when we go.
For a commentator's aspect, you want him to go late here, don't you? And bunch everyone up. For a commentator's aspect, that's superb. That's where the drama happens, mate. And I think he'll go later. Because he's on the mediums, mate. He's going to go later.
He's trying to catch Jeroen off guard with that little thing, and he's caught Izzat off guard. Izzat on prey to AJ Wuhan, and this could be another twist.
Into turn 1, there's 3 of them. Oh, he's rescued it. That was a lovely move, to be fair. And AJ nearly lost the car. The yellow flag towards him. Liam's gone. And was that involving? I just wonder. Did it involve Pyro? I don't want to make any assumptions, Scott, but I did say, I had a feeling something would happen between them two. Oh, Pyro has gone off the track. Another one that's managed to save it, but he's lost out on 2 positions at the very least there. Sees on the back of him, so a little bit of drama there, Scott.
Plenty of drama on the restart. Nathan's made up good time up to P6. Jeroen has made a move on Wouter for the lead, but of course, I believe it is just 3 seconds. Yes, 3 second time penalty. He's got a lap and a half to try and find 3 seconds over the car behind. It's going to be an ask. It's going to be a humongous ask, and he could drop from maybe net or sort of gross race
Pyro.
win to P6, P7. Pyro all over the place again, is he?
Yeah, I'm nearly making contact with Knight.
That's...
See you later, Stinky. He's gone now, mate. He's gone now. I've been waiting to do that all night. He's gone now. And he was coming. He was coming. Out of the points. Good night, good bless to Pyro. And what I would say, Scott, it was coming, mate. It was coming. And Ken and Farrell getting close there as well. Final lap, mate. He's absolutely flown by this race.
Absolutely has. We're going to be on board then the final lap for the most part. I would say it's going to be this battle here between Izzat and Wouter, effectively for the net race win. Wouter 4 tenths ahead. No DRS for Izzat, of course. Jeroen pulled out just about a second, but he's really going to have to get his racing shoes on here to try and pull out the other 2 that he needs in this final 2 laps. Or does he pray to the gods and hope for a couple of corner cuts from the few behind? Jacob in a good position for a podium here as well. Nathan, on for a good P4. Knight potentially on for a P5 as well once penalties are applied. But of course, this is all pre-stewards. There's yellow flags at the back. That's Pyro, who has... he's wishing that we did 25% races at this point. Izzat, though, goes for the move, and Wouter gets the move done before the long right-hander.
Izzat on for a win here as it stands. And the problem Wouter's got here... Oh! You're into a penalty! That's going to cost him... He's not going to get a podium now. I mean, was he going to get a podium anyway? Maybe not.
I think he would have dropped down to about P6, P7, maybe Seep has spun in the final lap as well.
You're always in trouble, eh, Scott? And I think it could be an Izzat from Wouter from AJ. Big Balls could jump a couple as well here. I mean, he has just got past Tigre, but he could jump maybe 1 or 2 more, we'll see. But I think it's going to be Izzat from Wouter from AJ. It is. Where does Big Balls end up? 6th. What an effort from Big Balls that is on his first race. From 20th on the grid, that, Scott. Up 14 places.
20th up the grid on your debut in Tier 1. Good news for everybody at home, their DRS is now enabled, so they will have a cooldown lap. Leo and Jeroen, 66,000 separating them. Of course, Jeroen getting that 6-second time penalty. Liam Carrick has retired. On the line, he has tried to crash it over the line, and he's crashed it too early. Of course, he has completed 90% race distance, so he will get points, but Pyro, if he gets to the line, will jump him now. Pyro, I'm assuming intentionally doing some donuts for us, but what a race. What a mad race that's been.
Crazy, mate. And that's the way you like it. But my Tier 1 debut, mate, an absolute pleasure, that. I'm shattered now.
You've been in the comms box for... well, just for context, since what? Just before 7:30, and it's now
2.5 hours. 5 to 10.
Now almost 10. Pyro doing some nice donuts for us. Lovely, lovely stuff.
Right, cheers for that, mate. Nice one.
I think he did enough donuts on track, to be fair, to warrant doing that. Sorry, Josh as well. I just noticed Josh Evans sent a message saying, "Do you want to add me to the party for an interview to see what was thinking?" Before the restart, I've only just seen that.
No, we don't, mate. No, you'll get an interview podium, mate. Do you think you are?
I wonder if we're going to see the griddy.
Oh, I hope not.
Oh,
we're under pit lane, mate. I wouldn't even see it.
Oh,
hang on, no, hang on. Does it come after it? No, that's it, innit?
That's it.
So okay. £70 for a game for it to go under the pit lane. Cheers, F1. Nice one. Well done to that woman who's won the race. She is a woman.
Yes, congratulations to that player model there. She is in fact a woman. If you know, we better tread lightly here, Hedge, because we could just be about to get cancelled. Of course, shout back. That's a nice little throwback meme to the CRL versus ISRL battle in season 4. If you know, you know. But that woman,
I have to do it, mate.
that woman, in fact, is Izzat Kush, who takes the provisional race win here in France. Relentless Power takes P2 from pole on the grid. AJ Wuhan P3. Nathan up 6 from P10 to P4. A bit of an underrated performance there by him. Very solid recovery drive after some early shenanigans. Relentless Knight up 16 to P5. Big Balls, the man of the hour, my driver of the day. I think I can't not give it to him. P20 to P16. Round of applause, yes. Mr. Bottle Job himself in P7. Jeroen with 6 seconds of time penalties drops him from the win to P7. Leo, Tigriff, Bumpy, Farrell, Ken, Seeb, Pyro, your finishers. Liam Carrag finishing on the line, not quite. And a few others in there, such as Evans, Joshua, Rizefi, Mark, and I forgot 2 people, but I'm sorry to them. I hate doing that. I feel like such a twat forgetting people's names, but I do apologise. Shall we do a little interview then?
Yeah, go on then, mate. Why not? Why not?
Let's I'll quickly add them in.
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
you're just having a good time, mate.
I don't think I'm getting asked to do today one again. But you know what? I've done it now. Who cares?
It's been done. It's over. There's Izza, and I would just need Wouter. So we'll get the 3 of these lads in. I'll let you lead the way with interviews. I think it's.
Oh, you scumbag, mate!
Yeah,
Absolute
I'll
scumbag.
let you take the lead in this, mate. We need your energy. We need your crazy mentality to ask these tier 1 drivers, because you know racing.
Excuse me. You all right? I think we've got our first podium sitter here. I think he's in the chat. Alright, it's him. Right, no, forget that. All joking aside, very well done, my friend. For my first ever tier 1 commentary, that was a pleasure.
Glad to have you commentating for us, and thanks for stepping in for both of you.
No problem. I'll talk us through the racing, because me and Scott noticed you was in a mid, but not to say a midfield, wasn't a midfield battle, but a battle for P4 for a long time. You'd sort of pulled away from, was it 9th, Scott? I think it was 9th, wasn't it? You pulled away from that little pack of cars. And there was 4 of you that were battling it out for P4 for a long time. So just sort of talk us through it.
Yeah, I mean, I had some good battles with Liam, Leo, and I think Mark for a little bit as well at the start of the race, and a couple others as well throughout. I think my pace wasn't quite deserved of maybe top 2, but I'm glad with P3. And yeah, I think Euro might get one of his pens removed, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, it was good. Pretty happy considering the amount of practice I'd done. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with the result.
It's only a point to it, isn't it? Because I think obviously with Josh in front of you, didn't score points tonight, so you should be well into the top 3 now, all being well.
Yeah, I heard there are a few unlucky incidents for Josh, and I think it was also Ferg. He had damage, I think, underfloor damage that kind of caused him to kind of struggle a little bit. So I do feel for him.
And next week we're in Australia. How would you find Australia?
Well, believe it or not, I've got a half day off work in the afternoon, so I might actually be able to get some practice in. So we'll see how it goes.
Well, stop practice. You didn't practice today, did you? And look what you got. So I think you keep that going now.
Yeah, I think I got like 2 short quality sessions in.
Hey, it was enough, wasn't it? Podium.
Yeah, did the job.
No, well done, mate. Absolute pleasure.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, very good job tonight, AJ. Wuhan, Mr. Jacob, Mr. Head Admin himself. Now, what a treat we have in the party here. The man, the myth, the absolute legend that is Izzat Kush. Congratulations on your provisional win tonight, anyway. But you got to be happy with that, especially beating it. But sure, then could still come.
Shut your dirty mouth.
Whoa, none of that in this party, mate.
Oh, I'm sorry. My fault.
You got to be happy with that, though, mate. You got to moved on Wouter towards the end of the race after the safety car. Always nice to get one over the likes of Wouter and Jeroen in your books, I would say.
Yeah.
Come on, Izzat, you're normally a bit more charismatic.
I wasn't really listening to the question. I only heard the last
do you know what? So I'd get him out. I'd get him out for that. Who do you think he is?
We have got one big question, because you won. We never got to see your podium celebration. Was it the griddy?
No, it's bugged, man. It's bugged. This game. It's Codemasters. They can't even...
But was it the griddy, though? Did you have the griddy set?
I did.
Oh,
so we missed the griddy. Oh, cancel the league.
I think there was a message from Nathan before the race. So if you have the griddy set, then you're getting a race ban. So we'll see you in 2 weeks. Is that?
Well, what's the next track?
Australia, mate.
Oh, okay, I'll form it. Give it then. Give it.
So he's won the race, set the griddy as a celebration, but didn't even see the griddy. That's poor. It's poor. Is that what you're going to say? It's two words. Is that what we're going to get out? You just want to race in tier 1.
Well, it's just another day for me, you know.
Right, get him out. Get him gone. Man, a few words, but no, well done, mate. That was probably the most relaxed win I've ever heard in terms of a podium interview. That, but no, well done, my friend. Good result.
Yeah, correct result. Is that? That'll see you climb up a little bit in the championship, if my points are right, of course. Valor still well clear at the top, but you're not going to be far off the likes of Evans, maybe Nathan, maybe Jacob. You know, you're definitely ahead of your own, so that's all that matters.
He's a man of few words, Scott, I think.
Oh, yes. He's not normally like this. He normally doesn't shut up, but
well, we are live, so there's not really much I can say.
You got to behave yourself now. I don't think Valter's joined us. He's a man of even fewer words, and when he does speak, he normally mumbles, so it's probably for the best. Oh well. We went off
mate.
here then, Hedge. Your debut tier 1.
Probably the first and last time, mate. But I'll take it. I've done it, I've been there. I've done that.
You're one of the legends, so
now, mate, I've completed it. Cheers,
there's
mate,
only, I believe, 3 commentators that have done tier 2 and tier 1 back to back.
I've commentated every tier now as well, mate.
Yeah,
so,
you've got the CRL Infinity Stone, because you've done the Cone Cup as well.
I have. So I completed it.
HHHCHHCHHC.
Oh, I know, he started the text to speech. Right then, folks, I think before Izzat says something very, very inappropriate, we're going to call it there for the night. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you back for Australia with hopefully the normal commentary team of Jamie Morris and whoever joins him. Make sure to tune in on Monday night to catch me and Liam Carragh, and also Evans Joshua for Tier 3, Tier 4. And then, of course, Thursday night once again for the man, the myth, the absolute peasant legend that is Hedgehog11, but Hedgehog spelled incorrectly, for Tier 2 once again. Hedge, thank you for joining me. Izzat, Jacob, congratulations on the result tonight. Everybody have a wonderful evening, and we'll see you next time.